There's more people than you might think that might think. Wait, what? Might think that know this corner exists. I don't know what sentence you're trying to say there. We do indeed have a wiener. All right. We've successfully generated a world. It's time for some world building. Anybody ready? I'm gonna, before I do anything, going to chuck this world into Google Drive so that you guys can download it. Does anybody actually want to check out the world right now? Because I'm chucking it up into the drive before I actually go into this. I'm also renaming it to the name of the world so I can keep track of what the heck it is. Oh, what the heck it be? And I'm going to clone it and paste it. No, I mean, I'm trying to just be silly. Like, I'm not being entirely serious when I say that, to be clear. I'm not being entirely serious when I say that. I'm being mildly sarcastic. All right, starting upload. Hopefully that doesn't kill. I mean, it's only got 2,000 files to upload, so it's going to take a little bit, but it's uploading in the background. I will give you guys the link as soon as it's available, but currently I don't have it. So, Legends. Maybe it doesn't like the fact that I copied it. I was very excited to start that world, and then it crashed again. I'm starting to have second thoughts about this version of the game. Yeet. I don't know what fix in art means, but I'll take a look. How Dwarf? Crashy, apparently. What is that? Ovo? I don't know what that is. Are those crystals? What are those? Oh, you've become gem. What are those? All right, game. Are you going to crash on me? There we go. I think it's because I copied and renamed things. Game didn't like that. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to actually upload that, but... Is there any point where minting coins other than like Krug Smash did it in every few years? No one's... Is there any point? Absolutely not. What is Legends? So, in Dwarf Fortress, there's 3 main modes of play. 3 modes of play. There's also arena mode, but arena mode is more like stress test. Safe Sloth, I hope you're doing well. So there's 3 main modes of play. There's Fortress mode, which is the most popular and well-known. Fortress mode is when you build a fortress, as one would. The second most popular is Adventure mode, where you take a single adventurer and you go out into the world and explore as a single character that you've created. So kind of like a massively open world RPG, basically. You can talk to anybody, visit your old forts, and go on adventures. Kill great gods and demons and slay dragons. And then there's Legends, which is what we're doing right now. Legends is a another method of interacting with Dwarf Fortress, which is essentially just a history book of everything that Dwarf Fortress has to offer. So everything that we just generated in that world that we generated for the past hour is here in Legends. Every single character that was born, every single location that was generated, destroyed, reclaimed, and fought over in wars, every artifact, every book, every region and the names of them, every cave and underground cavern, every civilization and the entirety of their history, every structure that was built and created, the historical maps, as well as the great happenings of history. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the historical map. And this is the world that we just generated. Now, if I press enter, it's going to look a little bit more like the world. But this is the world that we just generated during winter. So now you can actually see how much of the world is going to get snow on it. All of this white is areas that are where it's going to snow. I don't know what you're talking about, Freskins, but okay. But yeah, that's the beginning of our world, at the beginning of time. And now we can scrub through time and watch as events happen. So I can populate the world. Oh, I see. That's just the Freskins' names. I get it. I'm like, what the fuck's find a volcano mode? The Cobalt Crypts. This flashy mode shows all of the different factions and their reach. I think the Cobalt Crypts is a Dwarven civ. The True Gravel is probably also a Dwarven civ. The Green Plague? I wonder who that might be. I wonder what race is the Green Plague. Looking forward to getting to know these worlds, or this world. World's halfway done uploading. So, why have you become a gem cutter, Hobo? I'm getting into synthesizers, and you're cutting gems. The effects that the hold on a second. What? The Unspeakable Lie is the name of a faction. The Most Union. Well, that's the human faction there, definitely. What? The Matched Incense is the elven faction here. Oh, also, of course, there isn't just elves on this island, even though it might look like there's just elves. There's also Stalger, who's a cobalt civilization, are hiding on this island. Excellent. Yeah, what was the Unspeakable Lie? I wonder. Oh, actually, I'll bet you that the demon that founded that goblin civilization called the Unspeakable Lie, probably their name has something to do with the demon that runs them, probably associated with lies and treachery, because that is something that demons can be associated with. But how's the update? World Gen crashed. So bad so far. The Scalded Kingdoms. That's definitely a human civilization. Oh, that's definitely a cobalt civilization too. Deligifigilugure. Well, so are you, TKR. How's things? It's definitely not about cake, no. But I do have 2 tattoos about Portal, so I appreciate the references regardless. The Teal Confederacy. There's some real good names in here. The Malicious Hell and the Mines of Coloring. They've discovered the technology called crayons. Also, the Nightmare of Words, to me, just sounds like Twitter. The Nightmare of Words, aka social media. But you have a Dremel, and rough stones are pretty cheap at your local natural emporium. Okay, so you're going to a crystal shop and buying rough crystals, and you're just trying to learn to smooth them? That's kind of cool, actually. I don't think I've ever shown them on stream. Hold on, I'm gonna show you my bookends, because I have these really fucking badass looking bookends that my mom gave me a billion years ago. to be clear, these aren't valuable in the slightest, but check this out. These are bookends. We bought them from a rock polishing place years ago. And I use them to hold up records. But, yeah, these, they're kind of dwarfy. Like, they're literally just polished, nothing crystal, but I like them. Yeah, I have, Holy Fuck record is leaning against that one. Kind of dwarfy because it's rock. Yes, exactly. Geology is interesting. It really is. I had a lady at TwitchCon damn near poke my eye out with a business card because she shoved it at me so fast. And the whole shtick of her stream was she was trying to teach people geology. But she was one of those people who was so business focused when it comes to Twitch related things that it was kind of difficult to actually talk with her. Damn, this is an evil area. Holy shit. The Confederation of Candy. Oh my. Oh my. The Confederation of Candy. The defensive still sacks. There's some real good names in here. The Praised Book. I wonder what book they're praising. And then shoutouts to the Plain Union. No, totally. I tend to agree with that, Keytrax. I'm not gonna lie. Or rather, I'm retaining more, The Nation of Stars. Oh man, there's so many good names in here. I love this. This is gonna be a good world. I got a good feeling about this one. The Sins of Welding. That's not what that says, but the Plank of Dots. The Hideous Witch. Definitely a goblin civ. The Federation of Candy is probably a human civ. The Ultimate Unions. Well, they're going to be fun. I wonder what their image is. It's a capital S, which means it's probably a snail. A giant snail, potentially. Or a flying squirrel. The Innocent Boar. Well, that's definitely an elven civ. Oh, really? Well, it's kind of unfortunate that you lost it. Yeah, so this is a pretty evil world, but I did crank the savagery way up, so. 'Tis to be expected. I do really like this area, though. As evil as it is, this is a cool fucking zone. Really cool fucking zone. The Sizzling Citadel. Confederation of Candy. Yeah, it's just a bunch of shady dudes in a van in trench coats. Hey kids, we got some candy. No, it's just winter. So all the area, for whatever reason, this screen in Legends only shows the world at the end, like the very beginning of spring. So all the areas are still all snowy. I don't think you need to make it any higher. It's already plenty funny. Yeah, I think this zone down here is my favorite. It's like this fucking dwarven stronghold in the middle here. The barbarity of balance. The barbarity of balance. All right, I think it's time to go read about this world a little bit. Actually, something actually I kind of wanted to see if I can do. The Scalded Books. Okay, so this is the Scalded Books. And then down here, the Moral Paddle, which is also a Dwarven Civ. So there's two Dwarven Civs here. There's the Scalded Books and the Moral Paddle. And then the Barbarity of Balance is a Goblin Civ. And the Ugly Seductions. Ugh. Disgusting. Scalded Kingdoms, a human Civ. Cobalt Civ. Looking for more dwarves. Failblin. I mean, I wonder which one's the goblins or the dwarven civ there. Hey, Spinal Sauce, what's up? Not a whole lot. I'm wondering if I should screenshot the locations of every faction. Chat, do you guys think it would help if I screenshot the location of every dwarven faction on the world map? And stick it up into the Google Doc? Because I have this doc here that currently is just sitting with this, which is just like name, age, and the number of historical figures that died in World Gen. More info, the better. Yeah, because we're probably going to stick with this world for a long time. Okay, this is going to take a little bit, though. You guys ready? As long as you guys realize it's going to take me a couple minutes. How long are we into the game? What do you mean? Like, in what way? I literally just generated this world, but what do you mean, how long are we into the game? That's no fun. But yeah, I literally just generated this world because there's a new version of DF. So we've generated a new world to explore. And today we're mostly doing world building stuff. Yeah, I'm probably not even going to do a fort today. Yeah. Exactly sort of DM slang. So I have a series called Day Forts. And it's kind of like cooperative community world building in DF. And so what we do is we generate a world and then we spend a long time in it. The last season was 9 weeks long because Tarn decided to put a new version of the game out. But here we are now. Starting again. So today we're going to be reading legends and generating, well, we generated the world. We're going to be reading legends and maybe do a little bit of exploring. Yep, bug fix version. That's the version that we're on. Hopefully he doesn't put out any other ones. Maybe some YouTube videos? Gotcha. It took me about 10 years to actually get into DF. of playing around with it and occasionally watching YouTube videos. Took me about 10 years to properly get into DF. The slippery wire. Well, if you want to stick around for world building stuff, that's what we're primarily doing today. And then tomorrow we'll actually build a fort in this. I mean, it certainly is a great game but it's one of those games where you get about as much out of it as you put into it, right? So if you put a lot of effort into enjoying it, it is amazing. If you don't, it certainly will leave something to be desired. If anybody wants to follow along in the document, !Dayforts, and click on the Season 2 link, and then go over to the Legends tab down at the bottom. That's where I'm adding these screenshots in. So these are the different Dwarven civs. And I'm going to make a new tab over here called Stories. Maybe I'll change it to Discoveries. I don't know. And I'll set these to be links all the way down here with different stories, but this is more just kind of an overview of the world itself. Tarkov's just a shooter, though. This is a whole world. Tarkov's a much harder game than DF, though. Okay, well, you're not the slippery wire, so what civ are you? The defensive still sacks. That's a good name. The defensive still sacks. A dwarven civilization. Oh, hey. The world's uploaded if anybody wants to download it. Let me know if this link works, chat. That was Google Spreadsheets, yes. Otherwise, it wouldn't be public. But I suggest you learn how to spreadsheet, because spreadsheeting is a very helpful skill to have. To the point where, like, it'll help you get jobs if you know how to manage a spreadsheet. It works, good stuff. You guys are more than welcome to download the world and start digging. And if you find anything, put it into a Google Doc and send me a shareable link, and I will add it to this master doc. Then we can discover stuff. Go exploring. All right, let's find another civ. That's those two done. There's the plank of dots and the tool of twisting. It's called a screwdriver, guys. Come on. Get with the program. Man, they went mostly evil. But they're both kind of in the exact same spot, so I'll put them under the same category. I mean, they're both spreadsheet software, but if you can't Excel, then unfortunately you won't be able to enjoy most of the benefits of this series. And that's on you, not me. The more experienced you get with Excel, the more you hate it. I've learned to like Google Docs. I do hate Excel though. Excel is kind of trash. I do quite like Google Docs though. Even though it certainly has its issues, I do quite like it. I mean, this is a very fucking basic doc. It's literally just screenshots and shit. I mean, you're the one who started this whole discussion by me linking a doc and then you going, I don't Excel. What is this? I'm like, well, okay. You don't Excel. Cool. But regardless, Spinal Sauce, welcome to the stream. Today's not going to be the most traditional DF stream, but we don't get to do these super often, so we're going to do it right and enjoy it. Damn it. 1, 2 Dwarven Civs here, I see, and then there's two kind of down there in the middle. You use it for documenting stuff in Kerbal Space Program, just like I use them for, well, organizing stream team related stuff. The Cobalt Crypts and the True Gravel, probably my favorite two names. The Cobalt Crypts and the True Gravel, not the fake gravel. Just the True Gravel. There's a lot of civs that are kind of just clustered together here. One, two. The Dagger of Steam. That's a good one. Also, very evil. I don't even know if this civ still exists anymore. They're all purple. There ain't much left. That's for sure. If you want to grind through my previous stuff, all of my VODs go up on YouTube. So there is 1 billion hours of Dwarf Fortress playthroughs on YouTube. But I wouldn't watch tutorials. I would read the wiki. Most tutorials are inaccurate. The wiki is the most accurate guide you'll get. There's a link to your quick start guide. Use that. And we'll be building a fortress tomorrow. Today I'm just doing world building stuff, and then tomorrow I will be building a new fort, and then I'll go back to Long Death, which is a fort I'm trying to keep alive for 1,000 years, which is going to continue. But yeah, if you want to watch just straight up VODs, what I would recommend is watch through either Shattered Monster or Gift Vault, which are my two kind of shorter forts. I do have Long Death, though, which is currently on part 57, and each one is about 5 hours long, so good luck. Have fun! Yeah, Trunk Smashes is literally the only tutorial that's worth watching. Every other tutorial is just... I'm sorry, Sal, your tutorials are great, but, like, for people just getting into the game, just read the wiki. You will you will make so much more ground progress by just reading the damn wiki. I'm editing the doc in the background, by the way. All right, so that was the Dagger of Stum. Let's see if I've missed any. Watch me miss some Dwarven worlds. I love the Most Union. This is probably my favorite name I've seen in here. The Most Union. Shoutouts to the Most Union. The parched boots and the roads of confederating. Confederating is Is confederating a name? I don't think it is. There's another one too. The defensive still sucks. We already did that one. So these two. Very high number of civs. I don't know the total number off the top of my head, so I haven't looked. I'm only screenshotting the locations of Dwarven civs though, so. And finally, I think we're almost at the end here. Druidophilodililus, obviously. Just like Tarn. Clearly, that's how you speak Kobold. It's very simple. Anybody could do it. A child could do it even. The Praised Book. Just got the Southern Sizzling Citadel, which is a fucking good name. Okay, so we got the Sizzling Citadel, the Parched Books. And then these two down here, and then that's it. Okay, so... Oh, also... No, that's a human civ. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. And the Mines of Coloring. There's another one. There's so many saves. I regret everything. Parched Boots, we already got you. The Sizzling Citadel. So chat, how bored are you guys right now? Because you guys are the ones who said that you were okay with watching this. Hey Kibbs, we're doing world building today. What's up, man? Bold of you to assume that. I see what you did. Best not paying any attention to it. Entertainment ever is what you actually meant with that statement, Spitalier. But isn't that like just my stream in general is best background entertainment ever? Did I do the Praised Book? Parched Boots, Stagger. Praised Book. What's next? I love how somehow by year 10 they'd already lost a fort. Oddstom to Todd had already been destroyed by year 10. But they got it back just a couple years later. It got destroyed again later though, so shout outs to that poor fort. Howdy, Warm Shadow. Diving in and learning about a new day fort. The world is already available to download. Link is in the document. You can find the Season 2 document under !day forts in the chat. If you would like to join us, or me, I guess. I think it's pretty much just me with the world right now. Has anybody actually downloaded the world? I'm curious. Regardless of what stream? True. So does that mean I'm just best stream in general then, if all streams are background entertainment? If all streams are background entertainment and I am the best background entertainment, does that mean that I am the best stream? I don't know if I'm ready for this level of flattery. Scarlet Flax, is that Dwarven? No, that's definitely Elven. There we go. It's just these two. The Mortal Paddle and the Scalded Books. This is my favorite area of the game. Or of this map that we've generated. Well, thank you. It's a nice thing to say, Spitalier. And I'm adding these to the document. So now, once I type this in, and the Moral Paddle. Would help if I capitalize that correctly. All right, so this is the world document now. Well, the legends section of it. So the overworld document is still just this. If you want to download it, that's a link to download the world. And here is a list of every Dwarven Civ. So you can see where they are in the world as of current year. Let's just adjust this slightly so it fits a little better. This don't matter in the background here. Just get rid of row G. Perfect. And so if anybody goes into Legends and discovers stuff, I will put Legends stories in here. So that's what we're going to be trying to fill out today, is this. Also, I've reset the goals section over here. So if you come up with any goals that could be added to this, let me know. We can add those. And yes, you can just go to the things to do in DF section of the wiki. So probably download it in a little bit. I mean, it's up there for whenever you want it. Also, I can kill the audience stories section of this because I don't need that anymore because I've moved it to its own section. I could even just delete column. There we go. Tweaking a few things because the documents is changing a little bit since last time. All right. Well, that's our whole world then. Perfect. Will I be playing Brigador tonight? Probably not. Maybe tomorrow. Why do you ask? I mean, I'm gonna 100% Brigador, so it's gonna take me a long time to do that. Tonight, I'll probably be playing. I'm gonna be playing the demo of Adom because I really want to try that. I didn't realize the demo was public. Just kind of surprised to see people looking specifically for Brigador stuff, but hello. It is a very fucking cool game, yeah. But yeah, today we're mostly doing world building stuff in Dwarf Fortress. I mean, I'm 5 hours into the stream and we've generated a world, so that's kind of why I need to dedicate a day to this. Taking a peek at creatures that are alive. Bronze Colossi died in year 18. Otar Axeroar. The Bronze Colossus was the only one of its kind. Otar was associated with war, strength, and metals. It attacked the Scorching Den at Craft Doors and struck down a bunch of elves, but was killed by a giant dingo. How in the hell does a giant dingo kill a Bronze Colossus? But thanks for stopping by again, Vlad. Yeah, fucking Elven Australia is not messing around one bit. We still have a Hydra alive, though, as well as a female dragon. All right, that happened. Is it bugged again? It's probably going to be bugged again. Errored out on my end. Oh. Then you guys want to contribute 14,000 channel points to promote this, to boost the stream? Because, like, that's nothing. The fuck? Is this one dead? No, this Bronze Colossus is alive. So there's plenty of Bronze Colossi that are alive. How do you do that? Good question. It's not going to do anything. Don't worry. We're almost there already. And done. It's bugged. It's literally going to do nothing. The Lemul Flickered Pearl. There's a lot of dragons here. This one's dead, though. The Frilly Crack is where this place is settled. Not actually that many kills for a dragon. Seems to be kind of the enemy of everybody. Became an enemy of the Merchants of Learning. I'd like to know more about the Merchants of Learning. The human Medi Beauty Roughness while fought with the dragon. But defeated, the latter escaped unscathed. The fatal cavernous abyss was stolen from the bronze garnishes at Cobalt Scrape by Lemil during the rampage of the dragon. Lemil flickered pearl in the silvery fires in Cobalt Scrape and brought it to the Frilly Crack. Oh no, you guys are definitely helping. I will get like 100 impressions. Yeah, that's like the 4th boost we've gotten, and most people the boosts they get are like, yo, raise 200,000 channel points and then get a bunch of viewers boosted. And then me, whenever I get them, it's like, raise 14,000 channel points and nothing happens. So, I don't know. Blaze Twilight was stolen from Ringed Moon. Those are some good names. Scavenge Snarling was looted. All right. Well, I'm excited by how many living dragons there are. Okay, so I thought that thing's name was Buffet. Buffet, the Bronze Colossus. It was the only one of the only ones of its kind associated with strength and metals. Began wandering the Frost of Tongs. So there's a Bronze Colossus in the Frost of Tongs. Renown Stood is its lair. It's enemy of everybody. Yep, Confederation of Candy is a human, Liz. Is a human faction, I'm assuming. Because Confederation is very human. Now, this is a much more violent Bronze Colossus. Enemy of everybody. 62 notable kills. 45 others. What a fucking beast. Last thing it did was it began wandering the matched hills out of the year 344. Yeah, lots of dragons alive here. Good shit. Lots of Bronze Colossuses too. Oh, this dragon died in year 11. I wonder what happened to you. The Flicker of Brands was a dragon. She was one of the only ones of her kind. Noemi was associated with wealth and fire. Settled in Chame Scars, the echoes of slithering. Became the enemy of the disloyalty of Slacks and the nightmare of words. Attacked a goblin in Hate Mansions and struck down said goblin. Devoured the same goblin. And a naked Moldog bone amulet was stolen from Blackroads by Noemi during the rampage of the dragon Noemi. Heat sizzled the Flicker of Brands in Blackroads and brought it to the Chame Scars of echoes of slithering, and attacked the scandaled immortality at Anguish Malinged The goblin Nako was struck down. And Nuini was struck down by an unnamed troll in Anguishmalland. Not a very successful dragon. Sounds like it was a good lunch date then. I guarantee you don't have 5,700, Vlad. You'll have to type an exclamation point tickets to see how many you have. More bronze colossi. Fierce Dancers, the Talon of Ferocity. So many good names. 27 kills. What a fierce creature. Striking down dwarves. Many dwarves. Another dragon. So many dragons. I'm looking for baby dragons, because that means they're breeding. Like, look, male dragon, all alive. Oh no, this one died. What ended up happening to you? The Heat of Luxury was a dragon, one of the only ones of his kind associated with wealth and fire. Was struck down by a human in intense chucked. How much wood can a wood? 107 other kills. Killed a lot of livestock and animals. Rhinos, many things. They're not up though. You guys have to wait 46 minutes before they're up again. Ah! You guys missed it. Okay? I called it out earlier when it was up. Now you guys are all trying to invest now. Anyway. You'll all figure it out soon. Didn't share your tickets, so I'll try it again. LeMay, Seizure Thorns the Steamy. Female Rock. Clashfang to the Roasted Ruler. It's okay, you guys are all gonna figure out that they're not up eventually. Tons of rocks. Ooh, what happened to you? Parchbranded the Hot Silvers was a dragon, one of the only ones of his kind, and was associated with wealth and fire. Was struck down by a dwarf in Painted Quake. Nope, channel points are not tickets. No, they are not. Tickets are a channel currency that I've had since 2015, in fact. Killed a bunch of dwarves in knife blunt. Yeah, no, channel points are a channel currency I've had for a very long time. Spit Glands the Lustful. I'm sorry, what? Stolspab the Split Glands the Lustful was a forgotten beast, the only one of its kind. A gigantic skinless mammoth. It has large mandibles and it squirms and fidgets. Beware its deadly blood. It was associated with water, caverns, and blight, and wanders the depths. Holy shit. I want to know, how big is a gigantic mammoth? Because aren't mammoths the biggest creature in the game that doesn't exist? Because that's actually kind of intense. That is actually kind of intense. Hey, 8-Touch Shriek, how's things? Zenor. It's the only one of its kind, a 3-eyed sauropod. It has large mandibles and it squirms and fidgets. Its slight gray scales are blocky and overlapping. Beware its deadly spittle. Mammoths don't actually exist in Dwarf Fortress. The only form that mammoths can take are forgotten beasts and were creatures. And were mammoths are notorious for being easily the scariest rare creatures because how big they are. There's actually a few dead forgotten beasts. Damn. Esp confuse seas. The Infinite was a forgotten beast, the only one of its kind, an enormous, noseless boar. It has 3 long curly tails and it appears to be emaciated. Its light brown hair is unkempt. Beware its deadly blood. It was associated with waters, lies, and caverns. Killed 20 dwarves, but was struck down in the year 72 after the rampage in Scraped Terror, or in Scraped Mirror by a dwarf. Yeah, seemed to just, it went on a, the Speechless Bolts attacked. Esp attacked them, and struck down a bunch of dwarves and then got wrecked. Including a putrid zombie. All right. Or rather, killed a dwarf that would later be rezzed into a putrid zombie. Now that's a story I'm suddenly kind of curious about. Kogan Wet Merchant. Wet Merchant. The putrid zombie. Kogan Wet Merchant was a dwarf, born in 49, only one of his kind, son of Erish Toneswound. Kogan and Feb became childhood friends in the year 58. Man, no friends until you turned 9? Damn. Became a cook in Scraped Mirror, married Tekud Lance Glazes, divorced Tekud Lance Glazes 5 years later, and became lovers with Catan Stockade Gully. And his nose was torn off by the Forgotten Beast in the year 72. Esp confused seas, the Infinite, and was struck down by the Forgotten Beast. Esp confused seas, the Infinite. In the year 295, Kogan was brought back from the dead by the dwarf necromancer Cuniel Iron Trust as a putrid zombie in Scraped Mirror. Kogan fought in the squished battle in the Bearded Mire, and Kogan's upper front tooth was smashed off by the dwarf necromancer Domas Roughbegun. So the necromancers have infighting. And the dwarf necromancer, Roughbegun. Wait, what? Oh, he was struck down by the dwarf necromancer, Roughbegun, the same year he was rezzed as a zombie. So was brought back from the dead by a necromancer in order to fight in the squished battle and was killed during the battle again. Or pulverized, rather. I've gotten pretty good at avoiding food coma, fortunately. It's something I find rather unpleasant. I have a video about it if you really want, because that'll give you a visual representation. It's in my Dwarf Fortress for Beginners playlist. You know what, for fun, let's look up Domas, well, Kumil Iron Trust. Let's look up Iron Trust. Born in 29. Kumil Iron Trust was a dwarf, born in the year 29. She was the eldest daughter of Mistim Stratbronze and Shortass Occur Painted, settled in Twinklewhip, settled in Steel Cosmos, and became childhood friends with Ton Glacier Crystal, settled in Net Drilled, and the soon-to-be putrid zombie, Inga's Mile Books, and Kumil became lovers. Kumil went and then became a peddler in Net Drilled and married Inga's Mile Books. Kumil and Rakus became lovers, had a short stint with a lover while being married, and then got divorced in the year 57, had more lovers, got married a second time to Ton Glacier Crystal, who I think, was a childhood friend, later got married to a childhood friend, and became a champion of the Quiet Roof. Fought in many battles. And then later in the year 99, like 50-something years later, divorced her childhood friend, Titan Glacier Crystal, and continued fighting in sieges. A few years later, became lovers with Kickroast, Spotted Roof. Fought in many more sieges and assaults and battles. And then cemented a bond of friendship with the Stalker in battle. Jesus, that's a lot of fights. At what point does she become a necromancer? Because this is all just war. Lots of snakes hates and desert of ringing. I need to look up snake hates. Snakes hates. Snakes hates. Snakes hates. Ah, there you go. In the year 127, Camille became obsessed with her own mortality and sought to extend her life by any means necessary, having ambitions for which death was only a small obstacle. Continued fighting in sieges, broke up with her lover in 129. Had a brief stint with another lover. More battles. Yeah, I need to look up Snake's hates. Because look at all of these assaults on Snake's hates. The dwarf necromancer Ushrir basement pleated taught Kumil the secrets of life and death. And Kumil settled in Name-Whipped, and seems like her time in battle more or less ended here. Kumil began an apprenticeship under Ushrir, and began attempting to corrupt dwarves in order to have law enforcement look the other way in dawn plunges. Kumil met with Bambul, while refused. The other refused, despite being afraid. A lot of breakups and a lot of battles. More corruptions. Kumil then began spreading the secrets of life and death in the year 143 and taught Kivish hollowed hatchets the secrets. This might be worth documenting. I'm going to scroll back up to the beginning and document this. Grab a new Google Doc. Get some of those stories in there early, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't want the Wikipedia definition of Google Docs. I would like the Google Docs. Thank you. It's just going to be a selection of screenshots. This lady seems cool. Not the coolest necromancer I've seen, but definitely up there. The fact that she's continued to like marry her childhood friend and break up with her childhood friends is kind of interesting. Like Glacier Crystal and various dwarves named Ingus are the majority of her marriages, which I think is real interesting. Many friends amidst the horror of combat, too. Although, for those of you just tuning in, unlike the command states, we'll actually be building a fort on Sunday this week because today we're just doing legends and world building. And then Monday we will go back to the previous version of the game and play Long Death. Man, so many lovers. Yeah, we need to find out what happened at Snake's Hates. Because look at all of those battles. God. Like, at least 4 or 5 a year of invasions of Snake Hates. It's probably just a normal-ass goblin pit somewhere, but... Actually, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, this is one of those types of streams that I do where I never fully know if people actually enjoy watching it. And like I know that there's like what 100 plus people watching right now, but it always throws me off. It's like, man, we're just doing world building stuff. It's like if you're interested, I feel like a stream like this would appeal to like 2 types of people: people that are way into Dwarf Fortress and people who are way into tabletop stuff. There we go. Now we're basically caught back up. And is all like literally within a couple of years goes from being taught the secrets. No, within a year goes from being taught the secrets of life and death to having being an apprentice to having a dwarf that they're the master of. In year 143, Camille became the master of the dwarf necromancer Kavish hollowed hatchets. It's like literally began an apprenticeship, corrupted somebody, or failed to corrupt somebody, and then started teaching others just immediately. That's crazy. You fall into both demographics. Well, it's my audience. Wrote many books. Trying to adjust this document I'm building over here. The human plotted to assassinate Bemble. I like this. Right away. The human Kupo, Sloshterns, plotted to assassinate Bemble, Lancefist, approached by Camille to handle the matter directly through a third party via the dwarf necromancer Kavist hollow hatchets. The human plotted, once again, to assassinate. So literally there's a human who is attempting to use her apprentice to assassinate him. It's clearly not working. That's like wild, trying to use her students against her. Because like Bamboo Lance Twist was her apprentice, right? Some kind of Blackadder? Yeah, kind of. And then she just goes back to war. She found a lover and she settled in Tong's Plains, found a lover, and then went back to war. Look at this. And then the battles continue. Like such a fucking warmonger. We're only like halfway through her story too. And I'm documenting all of this in Google Doc. And she's the champion of the Chambers of Shaking. No idea what the Chambers of Shaking is. But I'm going to screenshot that separately, even though I just screenshotted this whole thing. Have a good nap. And became a... Wait, where'd she become a poet? I missed that. Oh yeah, you're right. She became a poet in Tong's Plains. Battle poet, I guess. Well, I mean, she was writing many books, so it's pretty understandable that she probably has skill in poetry, right? Control altars. So another thing that we're doing in this, by going through this, Control Altars was cleaned by Kumil from afar, and then she broke up with her lover. Another thing that we're doing is we're spotting these names of these artifacts. Like, I don't know what Control Altars is, but if we know that Control Altars exists, we could potentially find it in the world and try and build a fort around trying to acquire that artifact. Most of these fights are still happening at Snake's Heights. She married Meng Mind Martyr. Due to the ongoing surveillance plot unfolded, Kumil was convinced of bribery by the Quiet Roof and imprisoned for a term of 7 years. Kumil revealed nothing during interrogation. And so after all of those wars, she got married and then was imprisoned where she was living. So there was a surveillance plot that was following her, and they accused her of bribery. Which is crazy because they don't seem to have noticed that she's living for a very long time yet. She became a boyar and a member of the Hall of Freckles. Corrupt, and then after being released from prison, she settled in Cobalt Scrape, was imprisoned by the Quiet Roof. So she was imprisoned a second. Oh, wait, never mind. That was the first time she was imprisoned. Okay, yeah, she was imprisoned by the Quiet Roof the first time. I misread that. Yeah. So she was, I guess, taken to Cobalt Scrape and then imprisoned. But 7 years later, after she was let go from prison, she became a boyar, became a member of the Hall of Freckles, whatever the heck that is, fought in the splattered assault on Snakehates, still fighting against Snakehates. In the year 201, she corrupted Comrade in Arms, the elf Sal, Holy Budded, the elf, the pilgrim Hather Cornte Gauges of the Nation of Sides, in order to have someone act plots and schemes in Bowelstokes. Bolstokes? I'm going to go with Bowelstokes. Kumil met with the elf Holy Budded and made a threat. The elf Holy Budded compelled out of fear, and Kumil, despite being unafraid at the moment. Compelled out of fear, despite being unafraid. So compelled out of fear, even though it was terrified. Redbeard, what up, dude? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We're doing world building stuff for Dayforts. So if you'd like to download the world's already been uploaded. It's up on Ooh. The Fetid Lizard. She made an artifact. It was made a family heirloom. She really hates snakes. Yeah. So does she like snakes then? Is that what this is all being caused by? You've been lurky listening? Well, thanks for lurky listening. Back to war. Got divorced. In 210-ish. Also, chat, let me know if you guys find anything good, as always. I'm pretty happy with this so far. Found another lover. Still fighting. Very brief lover, so maybe not worth looking at. Another lover, and broke up. Oh. Well, this is interesting. Finally, fought in the incarcerated sieges on assault and Snakehates. But in doing so, aroused general suspicion in Cobalt Scrape after appearing to not age and fled to the Bald Mire. I remember seeing that area. It was one of the evil areas. And then began rezzing zombies. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Yep, she begins building up her army, yeah. Then a human necromancer. Oh, so she's now teaching others again. She taught the human necromancer Shishab nature's torch, the secrets of life and death, and became the master of the human, and then started authoring books again. I guess she constructed a tower and then began writing, would be my assumption there. And brought those under her influence, and they began acting on her will. Because in the mid-spring of 246, the dwarf putrid zombie Tun, Ramerthen, plotted to infiltrate the creative busts in order to prepare a coup under the influence of Kumil. Which is probably why there's so many evil dwarven forts in that area. Because that whole area, if I recall correctly, let's see if I can pull up the actual screenshot. Because it was the creative busts. I'm not entirely certain which faction that is, but there's plenty of areas like this faction, the Slippery Wine, which is just full of evil dwarven fortresses. That happened in a number of places. Like, here's another one. I think it's the Plank of Dots primarily is a dwarven civ where most of their stuff is evil. Like, this happened in a lot of different places. A lot of dwarven civs have a lot of like not even conquered fortresses that are just pink, so they are under goblin control. I'm willing to bet that what happened here is similar things to what happened in those places. They were planning coups, and instead of like straight up invading, they just send in spies to make them take over. That's dark and kind of real. I love it. I fucking love it. She's creating a zombie horde and sending in spies to cause military takeovers instead of just straight up invading. Fucking hell. She taught a dwarf the secrets of life and death, wrote many more books, became the master of a dwarf, who she taught the secrets of life and death, now this is where she begins raising a horde. This is where she begins raising a horde. And she raises a horde. Look at this shit. Oops. Hold on, I need to make sure I screenshotted that because I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay. That's really fucking cool. It is a lot of zombies, yeah. She raised an army in the year 275. And all of this because this was a necromancer that I found who struck down who rezzed a seemingly random dwarf. My God. She authored more books and raised an army. That's intense. Really is, yeah. So this dwarf was born, was a military dwarf, eventually extended her life to continue fighting in the same military, in the same battles, eventually was found out, left, and then started organizing coups to bring the dwarves over to her side, probably so that she could continue invading and fighting in the same battles. And was probably bringing back many of the dwarves that she knew. Like, frankly, like, growing up in dwarven society and being in a landlocked situation like this where you're just constantly fighting in a war-torn world's gonna fuck anybody up, right? And then once they realize that, oh, you're not aging, we need to oust you, of course you'd feel betrayed. And do this. And she's still going. She's still just building an army. But in the late spring of 299, she became the master of a necromancer. And Kumil attempted to corrupt the elf Chamberlain in order to have an agent in Cobalt Scrape. The elf Salo, Holy Budded, met with the... This is an elf that she's tried to corrupt before. Met with the elf Ifiri, Chamberlain, while completely misreading the situation, made a threat, and the elf Ifari Chamberlain valued the law and refused despite afraid. Began another attempt at going after that, and then authored a bunch more books. We're almost at the bottom here. And then, most recently, in the year 344, she attempted to corrupt Bimfence's warrior, Zess Torch, in order to have an agent in Lancerpole. The human putrid zombies, sizzling, squeezing, was met and made flattering remarks. The Bimfence's warrior, Zas, valued the law and refused. So if you guys want to see the document that I've made here, this is it. So this is going to get linked in the Legends section of the document. Oops, I broke things. There we go. This is going to go into the Legends section of the Google Doc. I'm just going to share it real quick. So if you go through this world and find any stories like this, send me links and I'll add them to the doc. Just make sure it's set so that people can't edit it, so we don't get people chucking bad shit in there. Got too many tabs open right now. Way too many tabs open. All right. There should be a link now. And that's just one character. And there's thousands of them. Oh my god. All right, well, we need to look up Snake Hates. What happened at Snake Hates? It was a fort. A little bit of history there. I want to know how many deaths have happened here. All right, chat, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break because it's 3 p.m. I'm going to go grab me my lunch and do my injections and stuff. If you happen to be lurking in the channel, could I get a round of beers in the chat? And if you want to support the shenanigans I do over here directly, you can do that over on my Patreon at right there. Get access to some bonus behind-the-scenes features and other extra things, assuming it doesn't get lost. And there you go. Also, if you happen to have them, now's a good time to use sound commands to entertain the chat. I'm going to go grab my lunch, and then we'll find out what happened at Snake Hates.
See how he bites off the shell to get at the nut?
Woo! Oh, dude, fuck yeah, dude. This is fucking sick. Hell yeah. Woo! Cheese for everyone! Boo! You suck!
Nuclear vessels.
But, like, you see the beauty of this. It's not that it's a cliffhanger. It's not that it's a cliffhanger. How do you play this game? With a keyboard and a computer, ideally, and your hands. So to anybody who doesn't have access to the sound commands are for patron subscribers only, and tier 2 subscribers on Twitch. So those are people that are actively giving me money and helping this stream continue to be a 6-day-a-week constant stream
good.
of
Not good
content
at all.
for your face. Sandwich time. Spinach, avocado, and cheese. Must not be. Now that's Minecraft. Don't confuse the two. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at this point. When people ask me how to play a game, it's just like, well, I can't tell you how to play the game. You have to learn how to play the game. I can help, but I can't tell you how to play the game. It's literally not possible for me to tell you how to play Dwarf Fortress. Still doesn't change the fact that Diggy Diggy Hole is a song about Minecraft, not Dwarf Fort. Have Yogscast ever even played Dwarf Fort? I don't think they have. Diggy Diggy Hole is older than Deep Rock Galactic, actually. And before you ask, yes, I've heard the Windrose cover. No, I don't like it. A bad band covering a bad song is still bad. Sure. Doesn't change the fact that it's still bad. Fucking trashy memes. All right. Let's explore. Yeah, I've seen Windrose. They're terrible. Deep Rock Galactic launched into early access in 2016, I think. But it's 1,000% a Minecraft hole that he's digging in that song. And then a band that was all dwarves did a cover of it. And I guarantee you none of those guys have played DF. But the Rumored Thieves. Interesting. So it very much seems like that Snake hates. You know, this is something that Vince Sadi is going to have to look into, or somebody with Legends viewer, because I can't tell you how many deaths this place has had. But fuck, look at this. There's so much. I never was a fan of Yogscast, so I always kind of had problems with how they did business. I never particularly got into watching any of them, so. I've watched my fair share of Sips once he made it onto Twitch, but that's about it. I've never been a Minecraft person ever, and never really enjoyed any of them, just separately. About the whole GameStop thing? We talked about it a couple days ago, but you're welcome to talk about it again if you want. Yeah, nothing too worth going through here aside from, holy fuck, that's a lot of fighting. Like, this is all the year 193. There was 3 invasions in 193. 3 invasions, more than 3 invasions in 194. Good lord. There's so much. But you know what would probably be better than talking about the GameStop thing? Because I'm pretty sure most people here are aware of it. Is just don't talk about the GameStop thing because no press is bad press. Ha! Stop giving them press. Let them die. That's gonna happen. Who actually gives a shit about GameStop? I don't. Budsnake. Huh. All right. Well, that was a fun rabbit hole to fall down. I want to look up this Necromancer's artifact that they made. Since I've written it down in my notes, let's take a peek, shall we? An artifact. The Fetid Lizard. All right. Let's look that up. It's a steel crossbow. Fealty. The Fetid Lizard was a legendary steel crossbow. This is a steel crossbow. Oh, interesting. Why does it say craftsmanship? I'm going to add this into the doc. Hold up. This is a steel crossbow. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of kangaroo bone, dog bone, and diorite cabochons. This object menaces with spikes of Drothla bone. Was created in Cobalt Scrape by the dwarf necromancer Kumil Iron Trust. The Fetid Lizard was made a family heirloom in the year 202. Yeah, that's a fair reason to not like them. Yes. Touch Shriek, I agree with that. Wait, what? No one's saying that it's about Minecraft. What? Hobo? We were talking about Diggy Diggy Hole, which is about Minecraft and not about Dwarf Fortress or Deep Rock Galactic. And then we started talking about the GameStop thing. No one's saying that it's about Minecraft, Hobo. Let's look at civilizations. The Cobalt Crypts. Cobalt Crypts was a dwarven civilization of the pretentious domain. In the late autumn of year 1, the Cobalt Crypts held a ceremony. I want to find out who the early kings and queens of all these factions were. The Dagger of Skins founded Golden Trust. So who's the king? Who is the first king / queen? Diplomat. Ah, there we go. Queen. Zhang Mind Searched became the queen of the Cobalt Crypts. Died in the year 98. She was one of the first of her kind. Became the queen of the Cobalt Crypts and found many lovers. And had many breakups and got divorced a couple times. Very much a active sex life, that's for sure. Fate Menace, the Tainted Dirt, was offered to Zhang of the Cobalt Crypts by the dwarf necromancer Kib. Minds pointed. The Tainted Dirt. Zhang became obsessed with her own mortality and sought to extend her life by any means necessary, being too vain to give in to death. The Torch of Ladders was offered to Zhang by the Cobalt Crypts, by the dwarf scholarly lecturer in Crazed Paints. Zhang and the elf in Kaft became friends due to shared interest in music after performance in Crazed Paints. Zhang and the elf Nagoking Spider Channels, that's an elf? That's a goblin name. Became friends due to shared interest in music. The Cobalt Crypts held a foot race in Crazed Paints as part of the celebration of Wire. There were 7 competitors, including Zhang. Einod Glitter Thrones was the victor. Zhang fought in the fierce battles of the Dunes of Playing and the Goblin Neko, and Zhang became friends due to a shared interest in dance after a performance in Crazed Paints. Zhang fought in the squashed battles in the Dune of Playing and fought in the scalded battles of the Dune of Plain and the assaulted siege and the siege of Carnages. The Cobalt Crypts once again held a foot race in the year 76. Craze Paints is part of the celebration of Wire. She fought in the Battle of Riddling in the Ripe Dunes and cemented a bond of friendship amidst the horror of combat with Zan Swifttoil. Zeng fought in the battles and wars in the White Prairies. Shortly thereafter, she broke up with her lover. But in the year 82, she'd cemented a bond of friendship with the dwarf necromancer Lycott Fiercework amidst the horror of combat. Fought in many more battles. In the year 91, the Cobalt Crypts held a foot race in Craze Paints as part of the celebration of Wire once again, and Lycott was the victor. Many more battles and sieges. But in the year 98, Zeng died of old age. In the year 103, unable to extend her life, even though she was obsessed with life and death, and extending her life by any means necessary. She wasn't unsuccessful, which I'm surprised by, considering she managed to cement a bond of friendship with that necromancer in battle. Maybe that necromancer convinced her otherwise? That's very rare, actually, to see somebody who becomes obsessed with life and death, but at the same time is unable to follow through. Wipe Hell, the Barbacious Evenness, was acquired in Glowing Chained by the Dwarf Rotten Slayer, Stenthat Sling Fights, as an heirloom of Zhang Mind Searched. After the death of the Dwarf Rotten Slayer Tosid Ragemore. The Honorable Match was then claimed, and the Poetic Mountain was acquired in Weakmares by Moses as an heirloom of Zhang Mind Searched. So was Queen up until the year 98. I don't know. Is that worth documenting? Maybe. Kind of an interesting story. Slept around a lot. Participated in sport. Went to war. Became obsessed with life and death, but was unsuccessful in learning the secrets of life and death, even though she was on a quest for it. Can I throw the link to the world at you? It should just be in the Google Doc. Hold up. Yeah, so if you go to the Google Doc, which is right here, Season 2, which is available under !Dayforts, that's the link right there to the world. So if you just open this, it'll give you the download link right there. I uploaded it at 1:30, which was just a few hours ago, hour and a half ago. So you should be able to just go grab it. I should make a version that works with an S. Yeah, there you go. So go to the Season 2 doc rather than the Season 1. Season 1 will be very filled out, and it'll be right there. And currently, the area that I'm editing, if anybody's looking at the doc, because there is like 3-4 people in here, the Legends section down here, this is what we are currently editing. So these are all of the Dwarven civs in the world and their locations on the map. But I'm adding these stories. So that one about the Necromancer story was right there. And you know what? Yeah, I'm going to make a one for this one because I like this story. This is kind of cool. Look up whatever the heck you want to look up, man. Whatever you think would be cool, frankly. I mean, I want to learn as much about this world as possible. So the first queen of the Cobalt Crypts. Man, if anybody ever hacks into my Google account, they're just gonna think I'm the biggest fucking nerd. And they'd be right! I love how early in her life she became obsessed with her own life and death, But I love the fact that she managed to not. Became obsessed with her own mortality and sought to extend her life by any means necessary. It's so fucking good. You know, everybody always praises the programming and the world generation of Dwarf Fortress. There's not a lot of it, but the writing in DF is really fucking good. Spitalier, are you headed to bed? If you're headed to bed, everybody say goodnight, Spitalier. I'm just going to run with the headcanon that the necromancer friend she met in battle convinced her otherwise. Thank you for the $1, Spitalier. Cheers, man. We got your legends hostage. Pay 0.1 Bitcoin to get it back. Yeah. Are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Yo, check out what we're working on. ! Dayfort and check out the season 2 doc. Currently, I am editing the Legends section over here. We got every Dwarven faction listed, and I'm working on stories. We're reading about the early royalty of one of the Dwarven civilizations, the Cobalt Crypts. This dwarf became obsessed with her own life and death very early on in her life, but then instead of becoming a necromancer, chose to not? I'm assuming because she became friends with a necromancer amidst the horror of combat. She cemented a bond of friendship with a necromancer. And I'm assuming that was what convinced her otherwise. So that's my headcanon. Let's see if I can grab the rest of this. Took part in sport. I really hope that sport and all of the stuff that's held in Legends gets shown at some point. But yes, new season, new world, new version. New everything. New coat of paint. We'll actually do a fort tomorrow. Today we're just doing world building stuff. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. The Clashes of Thunder. Zhang and the dwarf necromancer Lycott fierce work cemented a bond of friendship amidst the horror of combat. Is the link there? Yes. Or it was. Now I'm sitting here going, where did it go? Hold up. I'm not seeing it now. I don't know what happened. No, you're not dumb. but it was there. Hold on, let me fix that. I must have accidentally undid it somehow. I'm not sure how. It was there, but there. It should be there now. No, you're not dumb. Yeah, there you go. I had it there. I don't know how I accidentally got rid of it. All right, I can share this one now too. I've got a second document done for Legends. Now I'm getting confused because I've got too many tabs open. So we've now got Kumil the Necromancer, which I'm going to retitle because I lost her last name when I was undoing shit. So we got 2 mil data mill and the Queen of Cobalt Crypts. Those two stories are in there now. Oh, like small ass computer cases? Oh, I hate big computer cases. Big computer cases are too small. Yeah, I don't know how I managed to delete that by mistake. So hopefully I don't do that again. That's a big oops on my part. But, you know, at the end of the day, the thing I do have to say is thank you to everybody who takes the time to watch these streams, and everybody who, you know, shows up and supports these streams in any way, be that just taking part in these activities and world builds that I'm working on, or just hanging out and talking to me, because there isn't a lot of people who manage to financially support themselves streaming games this niche. So thank you to those of you who make this stream what it is, because, you know, there's a lot of streamers who are just like, oh, you know, I'd be streaming even if there wasn't people watching. Frankly, I wouldn't be able to afford to stream this much if there wasn't anybody watching. So thank you for showing up, helping me. Shoutouts to everybody with a skull next to your name, Spitalier for supporting the stream so crazily, and everybody over on Patreon for keeping me here. And those of you who don't ad block my YouTube channel, because you guys are helping me do this full time and stick around. So I can do all of these weird, awesome, strange streams. Weird, wild, and awesome, strange streams. ITX cases suck, yeah. No, I completely fucking agree with that. All right, let's look up somebody else. Let's look up the next dwarven civilization and look up their first king/queen. The Ultimate Unions was a human civilization. The Scalded Furnaces. I think I missed that one in World Gen. Oh, wow. Immediately, the dwarf necromancer Nil Truefountain became the militia commander of the Scalded Furnaces. You know, actually, let's look up somebody else in the Kobolds first. You have YouTube Premium? That's even better. You know, last year I think I made like, over the entirety of 2020, I made about $200 off of YouTube Premium revenue. True story. I actually went and looked it up. It was something like a third of the total revenue that channel made. An Etna attacked them. Should we look up the lesser royalty, like the dwarf cog Stricken Smiths, the Baroness of the Cobalt Crypts as of year 6? You got Quest Gold, the drink of brilliance, the rock. Man, many rocks became enemy with them, and the fuck happened in the year 26? All of the rocks became enemies with them in the year 26. I'm looking for interesting things. I'm sorry, what? Is the boost goal 25% reached? I thought we already reached the boost goal. But I'm so confused. What? Twitch, are you drunk? This shit's so fucking bugged. I really wish that Twitch just didn't put me in their fucking unfinished, half-baked settings or features, because this, like, what? Can you guys even, like, add on to that? Like, is that even an option? I don't think it is. But anyway, Clino, what are your thoughts on, let's jump up to the year 90 something. Let's see who came after our queen. Held a recital in the beige flute. The beige flute, that sounds like term for dick. What year did you die? '96. No, 98 was the year you died. Many foot races. New Baroness. Crossbow throwing? Did it actually say crossbow throwing? I wasn't looking at the ceremonies too closely, I'll be honest. Ah, there we go. English carried stake became the queen of the Cobalt Crypts. And now I already forgot the name of it. What was her name? Fuck. Yeah, you're right. A crossbow throwing competition. Interesting hobbies. Crossbow throwing. I mean, I could kind of see it like a, not quite like a shot put thing, but like what's the track and field thing called, where you like hold a thing out and spin in circles and then whip it over a thing? Also, Diamond Destruct, I hope you're doing well, by the way. No, they're literally fucking broken. Trust me, they are. It's completely broken. Just ignore the thing that was at the top of the chat. Diamond Destruct. It's not working the way it's supposed to. Trust me, it's a broken feature. You're supposed to be able to use channel points, but you don't currently have the option to use channel points. But I have to read a thing real quick that has nothing to do with Dwarf Fortress. Dust floats down ruined aqueducts amidst ducks' farts. Whatever, don't use the stalks to paper the walls, fool. Chili farts burn incredibly. Yes. There we go. Done. Yeah, hammer throw. Is that what it's called? Did they call it hammer? I thought there was a weird word for it, but... Really? Nobody complained that, nobody's complained that, Lazy Noob Pack hasn't been updated yet? Because that's all I've seen so far. It's like, is Lazy Noob Pack ready? I've had 3 people ask today. Not really huge complaints, but I'm excited to start a new season of this and do, like, it's funny. Like, my goals in Dwarf Fortress are 2 things. Thing number 1, keep a fort alive longer than any other fort's ever been alive. And then 2, document individual worlds deeper than anybody else actively does. We'll see if we can actually achieve that. Although, considering there's 5 people lurking in the dock now I'm just curious. If anybody finds anything, let us know. So we can find out. All right, anyway, where'd that queen go? Baroness. There we go. English carried steak. Carried steak. Carried steak. Carried. Born in the year 9, she was the youngest daughter of Zhang Mind-Searched and Geshud Circled Spears. At a glance, looks like just a straight-up warmonger, eventually dying of old age. You're about to upload a Phobias pack with pre-alpha DF hack, which will trigger some people to play? I hope so. I mean, I just want people to look into Legends deeper, you know? Like, I can't quite... Like, something that I've kind of learned about streaming Dwarf Fortress is I can't quite catch people's interest as heavily as something like an edited video could, like what Krug Smash does or anybody else who's editing stuff on YouTube. So I have to kind of, like, play into my strengths, right? So it's like... Well, let's just crowdsource community world build. Oh, damn! Hold on a second. This queen is a criminal. The second queen. Interesting. Not only that, but a mercenary at arms. I'm just immediately seeing English began embezzling funds as the chief medical dwarf in Scandaled Furnaces. You're the fucking queen! Or you're gonna become the fucking queen. You're not yet. Damn. Okay, we need to... Gambler? Ooh. This person doesn't become queen until the year 98, right? Yeah. Sounds like every other politician or spoilt rich person. All right, well, I'm gonna open up another doc and go through the rest of the... Document some more of the early royalty. The second queen. She was a dwarf born in the year 9. She was the youngest daughter of Zhang Mind Searched and had many childhood friends, of course. But yeah, no, it seems like it's pretty smooth. Although, I don't know when you got here, Clino, but we did have a crash earlier. So, world generation isn't entirely safe. I generated 550 years of a large world. Took about 2 hours, and then the game crashed on completion. So that happened. Was fucking thrilled about that. So then I generated this one at 351 years, which is fine. But I didn't want to wait the full 2 hours again. So she decided to become a mercenary operating out of Crazed Paints, a dwarven fortress, in the year 21. I like that. So this faction's first queen decided to become tried to become a necromancer and failed. And the second queen is a mercenary. That's fucking great. Within 2 years was already getting battles. I like that. And then afterwards became the chief medical dwarf in the scandaled furnaces and became embezzling funds. Did well gambling in Crazed Paints, the Mushrooms of Labor, which is a great name, and began embezzling funds shortly after, 10 years after. So was a mercenary for a couple of years, became the chief medical dwarf. Yeah, it was kind of brutal. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I know the world gen crashes were a thing around year 700 in the previous version, but something's still broken. Can I just say that this boosting thing is actually fucking obnoxious, chat? Like, Twitch, can you stop? Like, we completed this 2 hours ago. To be clear. So she took up gambling and crime and then returned to combat. That's a lot of battles. Oh, I know. I know. I mean, it's done already, but it's still giving me these notifications. That's fucking stupid. Had 3 at once the other day? Yeah, I know she was talking about that on my team Discord. That's fucking stupid. Befriended an elf in the year 91 amongst the horror of combat, just some 10 years before the other queen died. Took part in sport in the foot race in Crazed Paints as part of the celebration of Wire. 5 competitors, including English and Clumill Clear Keys, who was the victor. Someone should write a story based on this world generation. There needs to be like a fucking novel written at some point. And then in the year 98, she became the queen. So something I can do in this document that I can't do in Legends is I can hyperlink shit together. So I can take the link to this document, Zhang, and link the Zhang document. This one. Done. Oh, come on. So over here, now in this document, for the second queen, it shows this, and I can hyperlink to the first queen over here. Wait, really? You have to manually allow them all? Something Legends here. I'm not installing DF Hack, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. I don't think that third-party tools are a solution to a problem. I think that we need to ask for solutions from the developer. Excuse me. All right. So she became the queen right there. Spiral Ring to the Torch of Leaders was acquired in Crazy Page by English as a symbol of authority. That artifact might be worth claiming or keeping track of. The wars continued. Seems like this queen never really let her military values go away. Befriended more elves. This dwarf really likes befriending elves. Something I'm noticing. Happens a lot. Got divorced from her husband. The Kobold Crypts held a foot race. Participated in sport. Fought in the ferocious assaults. Many more lovers. Ooh. Brutally. Beat up Lycott Rampart Golf who attacked. I like this. Was attacked by Lycott Rampart's Golf. And she destroyed him. And fort you're working on, still the first year. Great site. Limonite, gold, sand, and both corals. Ooh, both coals right on the surface. Good stuff. Should set that on fire. But yeah, no, to kind of directly answer your question, I don't use DF Hack for anything, really. I will occasionally poke at stuff in DF Hack off stream, but I don't use DF hack for anything. Everything I do is exclusively in vanilla. Simply to point out what you can do without DF hack. And since at this point, it kind of seems like more normal queen shit. I really like the bit at the beginning about turning to crime. Interesting. There must be a lot of necromancers in this faction because Domas won this foot race in the year 142. Beyond that, it just seems to be a lot of combat. Yeah, just a lot of lovers in combat. A lot of blood and battles. But fought right up until the end. Until she died of old age. Satan DK, thank you very much for the raid. We're doing some world building. So this document right here is getting added to the master doc, which is this. So, give me a second. Hello. What were you playing? Were you also playing DF? I don't believe I've seen what you do. So cheers. Thank you very much for the raid. Hello. But tell everybody here what you were playing. A little bit about your stream. All right, so I got the first and second queen covered of the Cobalt Crypts. The 72-year-old tournament champion? Dude, they're if you find any good stories, don't forget to drop them in chat so I can chuck them into the doc, yeah? I'm playing with the Evil Within. Oh, so what brings you here then, if I can ask? Over to my realms of the interwebs. And audio, could I get a shout out for Satan DK? Gold Broke Poke brought you. Is that true? Well, thank you. Welcome over to this wall of text featuring more walls of text. Thanks, audio. Cheers. Hey, Twitch, you know that boost is completed, right? Kind of want to look up who the third queen was. Year 174, the Cobalt Crypts. — 146. And 74. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming by, man. Welcome to the stream. I'm looking to see who they're next. royalty was. I'm seeing a baron and a baroness, so I'm missing something. Oh, it's a beer mode I'm missing. I can fix that. Hold on. I didn't even realize. Try that emote again. There, Satan. Type that emote in again. My bot will do a thing. I don't see a new queen. Yeah, we're doing world building. If you want to find the actual document that I'm building in the background, !Dayfort in the chat. It'll give you a link to this document, the master document, which is right here. This is my second time doing this, but we are documenting as much about the world as possible. So over here is every dwarven faction and a screenshot of their location on the map. And over here on the right, I'm discovering stories and histories. So if you want to download the world, there's a link right there. Help us explore as much as possible about the world. Round of beers, chat. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Right now I'm trying to figure out where the heck... They really like the celebration of wire. It's a very common ceremony here. Do we use Legends here? You can. I don't use DFAC or anything, but you're more than welcome to. I do everything vanilla. Hard mode. But you guys, or people out in chat, often discover interesting things that I can't find in Legends VR. Where the hell? Unless I got the year wrong. $400 megabytes and growing. Ooh, good shit. But yeah, no, I'm not using any extensions or tools. I could use DF Legends Viewer, but I choose to just stick with vanilla and see how much I can do in vanilla. And then you guys help me find stuff that I can't find. And then tomorrow we'll actually build a fort in this world. What? Then text chat? Then text? I mean, probably, but yeah, she died in the year 174. How come I can't find this? The fuck? 174. No shit, Twitch. Jesus. The kin of tomes and destroyed standard crowds. It's claimed. Performance of the Queen of Couples. Recital was held. Many performances. Nothing about a queen. Nothing about a king. In the year 177, a baron and a baroness were appointed. Yeah, that would do it. Caps lock breaks DF. You can just read it. I mean, yeah. Me too. Did I like miss something where she stopped being queen early? Because it's been 4 years and we don't have a new queen yet. Man, they really like their crossbow throwing competitions. Yeah, and it seems to have done effectively nothing. So that's cool. Yeah, I don't see anything. Weird. Oh, is that all? 1.2 gigabytes. Oh, is that all? What the fuck happened? Well, there's some more barons in 65. It is a big world. It is indeed a big world, and it's pretty old too. Well, 350 years old isn't. It's long history, large number of civilizations, large number of sites, high savagery, sparse materials, large world. So, yeah, I expect it to be big and exciting. And then once we're done with this, we're gonna check out that demo of excuse me. We'll check out the demo of Ultimate Adom. High sights, yes. High sights. That's the point. Ramp up the number of everything. Crank up the number of everything from a lot to yes. I'm expecting it to be gigabytes. Although, maybe I'll dump the XML file and stick the XML file up on my drive so people could just download that. I wonder if that would be easier. Probably not, but Is anybody like got the world open right now? Could you help me figure out what the fuck happened to royalty in this civ? Like, can they stop being king / queen before dying? I thought they were just king or queen until they died. You're watching a drunk Danish guy being bad at his game. What are you watching now? A lot of repeated text strings. So you're watching Dwarf Fortress. I'm assuming you came in from Satan DK. Sent over by one of my subscribers, Gold Poke. But this is Dwarf Fortress. This is how do I explain this from this point? This is Legends of Dwarf Fortress. So there's 3 modes of Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress is a little game that you may have never heard of, which is understandable. It's the reason games like Minecraft exist. It's one of the oldest and most important games ever made that's still actively developed. It's one of the first crowdfunded games. It's one of the first games to or be successful in crowdfunding anyway. Yeah, it's legendary for being obtuse and not having graphics. But it's a giant world simulation. We generated a world today, which took about an hour and a half. And now we are going through and reading as much about the world as possible. And we're doing it kind of as a group. So I'm building a document, which probably will make no sense to you whatsoever. But think of it kind of like tabletop world building. So down at the bottom here, there are 2 different tabs to this document, which is available in the chat if you type in !Dayfort. And I've got screenshots of the map world with all of the dwarven civilizations, and we are going through and reading history, and I'm building documents about the history of them. I just deleted one. But yeah, these are little stories from the world's history, and chat is also pulling apart the save and doing the same thing, and we're working together to build out this document as much as possible and do as much discovery about this world as possible before I then go in and start building fortresses in this world and learning as much of the history as we can. Dwarf Fortress, when it generates a world, it doesn't do what most colony-style games do. Dwarf Fortress, instead of just simply generating a map with locations, it generates history. And this history looks like this. These strings of text, which currently we're looking at the Cobalt Crypts, which is a dwarven civilization. This is every single event over the 351 years of history that we've generated that this faction as a whole has done. So this is all their celebrations, all of the wars, their royalty, kings, queens, barons, friends and foes, alliances, everything that, like, forms of poetry, everything that they have discovered, learned, and taught themselves. This is one of many dwarven civs in the world, as well as one of many different species in the world. So there's also human civilizations and elven civilizations that all have similar amounts of insane text. And that's what we're doing today. We're digging into that pile of text and seeing how much stuff we can dig up. And enjoying it. And generally, it's pretty fun. Also, investments are open to those of you who are trying to invest your tickets earlier. You can do that now. But, yeah, welcome to my nightmare world, Zimlink. And if you tune out immediately, I kind of get it, but... We've discovered the story of a necromancer who was a brave military member of the military who then betrayed her captain and... went and discovered the secrets of life and death, and just if you're nerdy as fuck and you love it, go over to the legends section of the world overview, and then click. Oh man, when I highlight this stuff, I have to be careful not to delete it. Click on this, and load up this document, and read through this little story here. This is all strings of text that I have parsed together into a little document of history here. And you yourself can read through it and see what it is. Or, just skim it. But yeah, if you're nerdy as fuck and you like D&D and world generation and that sort of stuff, this is basically all that we're doing is world generation stuff. You're working on assembling a storyline for a D&D adventure and digging into the history of Faerun. Okay, fair enough. So you already have plenty of experience with this stuff then. Yeah, I was just editing some settings in the background real quick. But yeah, so no, that's literally all this is. It's like if you're into tabletop world building, that's basically what we're doing. I mean, in many ways, Dwarf Fortress is just D&D, but the computer generates the world for you. And you can just go into it and explore it. My older sister plays Dwarf Fortress, but the way she plays Dwarf Fortress is she generates a world, takes a screenshot of the world, draws the screenshot as a world map, and then goes through the generated history and picks out names of factions and monarchs that she likes, and uses that, and that's it. She doesn't actually play the game at all. She literally will just screenshot the world and use it for her D&D games, which is kind of awesome. Previous community world that we did, there was a fortress called Menace Dubs, which had many great battles take part there. Hours and hours of history. And one viewer was so enraptured by it that they used that as a whole quest line in their D&D story, which is also fucking awesome. As part of this stream is looking at Legends of the World and creating a DF. There's a lot happening. Blind is now looking at very interesting events in the world and making a canon for the stream. Yeah, basically, we're working together to create a head canon for this world so that I can continue to play and build on this world over the next couple of, or maybe potentially over the next year until the Steam version comes out. I'm kind of, unless the apocalypse happens in this world, which I doubt will happen, I'm fully planning on being in this iteration of this world for the next 2 years, or whenever the Steam version comes out in like a year and a half or so. So I'm also just going to get investments going so that they keep rolling. Also, I've been live for 7 hours, and literally all I've done is generated 2 worlds and read a lot of text. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened to the monarchy of this world. They just kind of vanished. The Mechanical Crypt. That's a cool name. Well, the queen died of old age, but no one seemed to take her place. That, or I'm just missing the line of text. I might just be missing the line of text. Plenty of barons and baronesses, but no actual royalty. The queen died in 176, I think? Unless I misread. I mean, I'm going to load it up for like an 18th time. Yeah, died in 174, and there was no new king or queen appointed in 174. So I don't know. I have no idea. Although they do have a piece of music called The Queen of Couples, which I think is hilarious because their second queen slept around a fuck ton. So I like to think that the Queen of Couples is dedicated to that queen. Absolutely nothing, Diamond. You invest tickets, and they go into a little bank, and then you can win some back. It's like a 50-50 chance. That's literally all it is. And you get 1 ticket every 30 minutes for watching. And if you're subscribed, you get 2 every 30 minutes. It's literally exactly the same as channel points, except we've had them longer than channel points because channel points are new-ish. The Disembowelment of Chambers. No, she died of old age. I was looking to see if like someone else got appointed as queen before she did, or if someone like removed her from the throne, but I don't see that. A dwarf, Aban, became the count in the year 151, but power must have changed hands at some point. Did she have any children? Doesn't matter if she had children, but I guess that would be a way to find out, wouldn't it? Carried stake. Let's look up carried stake again. So also, since, to anybody who's new here, this is the number of historical figures, the number of sites, the number of artifacts, scrolls, books, etc., places, underground places, civilizations and other groups, structures, and this is the historical, or the history, but this is the map that we generated. So this is what the actual map looks like if you're only just tuning in. So that's the actual map. But let's look up carried stake again. Bird, eagle, bird, when rat, giant, pixie, lobster. Giant pixie lobster. You definitely need to figure out what the fuck a giant pixie lobster is. That's very cold looking world. For whatever reason, Legends on the map view only shows only you need to look up a giant pixie lobster. Yes. I mean, if it's a giant pixie, look up the giant pixie. Please look up the giant pixie. Yeah, no children. I don't think, unless I'm misreading this. Just former spouses. Mother and father. Mother was the previous queen. Gishud, her former spouse, died in the year 156. Maybe we should look up Ink Channeled? Well, you definitely should look up the pixie deity. Although the cave lobster deity is pretty good. It seems like it, yeah. But then, like, someone would take their place, right? Like, I thought that they would just appoint a new not a new deity, a new monarch at that point, right? Oh, and also, one other thing, Zimlink. This game is free. That's another important thing that I should probably mention when explaining the basics of Dwarf Fortress to people. This game's fucking free. Oh, we're still going. Exclamation point day for it in the chat. Check out the document for the world we generated. And if you go to the Legends section, I've documented every single Dwarven faction in screenshots on the world map, as well as now we're reading about Monarchs. Good stuff so far. You know, that's it. That's the last time I'm seeing somebody do that. I'm making a new command and calling it Dayforts. I'm actually going to edit this. And now I have 2. And I love how I was in the middle of editing it, so it didn't work. There you go. They both work now. No, it's fine. You're like the 5th person today to do that, so I have edited it. I've got 2 now. One for day 4 and one for day 4. And they're identical. I think this is a command. There you go. Bay12games.com/dwarves, and you can wishlist the eventual Steam version that will come out one day. Yeah, see, they both work then. Although, as I've told many people, I've probably spent more money on this game than most games. Purely due to the fact that I support them at $8 a month on Patreon. And over time, that adds up. Thomo Roxy. Dude, if you just, like, put those all together, I will separate that out into its own section of the document, because that sounds great. We built a soap fort once before, and it ended with us getting murdered by a bunch of zombies. It was a little bit too close to spooky stuff. It didn't end super well. Or it ended great, depending on your point of view, I suppose. Can probably do. That'd be awesome if you could. That would actually be awesome if you could. Doing a cheese fort? I mean, cheese is like... Well, you can't use cheese to build walls. I mean, it was a very violent death, yeah. We'll have to do that again. I mean, hold on a second. I could... So a cheese fort, in my mind, would be the only thing we're allowed to export is cheese, or cheese would be our main export. So I could totally add that as a fort idea if you want. I'll throw that in. I got no problems with that. Cheese fort. Yeah, there you go. I've added it in. There you go. So the only thing we'd be allowed to sell in that fort would be cheese. So it'd be like, bring a bunch of cattle and bring a bunch of pigs and bring a bunch of sheep and just start milking them. That'd be fun, just a farmer fort. I'd be down. Sounds cozy, frankly. I don't really do that, but you're more than welcome to. Yeah, it does seem like their royalty just aged out. All right, let's go back to the Cobalt Crypts, and I'm going to scan a little further in. I mean, outdoor is safe and fine now, right? Dwarves don't get bothered about being outdoors. Don't forget, Freskins. Yeah, to the person who I'm ruining the workday of, this is the list of civs. Yeah. Yeah, these are all civilizations. There's at least 3. It hasn't repeated yet. I don't think. That certain cheese can cost like $3,000 and be paid in monthly payments? Why does that surprise you? Holy shit. I think it's repeating somewhere. It's gotta be. Oh my. I haven't seen a repeat. Holy shit. I realize there's 704, but like... No, this was just normal ass gen. But see, this game, it's perfect. This game looks like working software when you're actually playing it. The Fellowship of Sand. Hey, chat. I would like to inform you that that's my civilization, the superior desk, because my desk can stand up if I push button. My desk is superior to your desk. That is my faction. Is it an autonomous desk? Superior desks! I love the name of this civilization. It was a human group from the pretentious domain. In the early summer of 218, the superior desks defeated the most demon of cruelty, of harvesting, and took over Bound Hells. The new government was called the Superior Desks. The goblin-cursed slayer Nagolso Thayfoils became the boss of the Superior Desks. Quality, watch out for the Superior Desks. They're gonna come get you. Should I put that into the fucking thing? Because that's funny. I mean, it's a human group, so it's definitely me. The question is, are they run by somebody who's missing an eye? Quality names. Oh, hey, we haven't found a Dung's Depths the Naughty Hole yet, okay? That was the best Dwarf Fortress name. We found a cave that had a market in it called Duber, and the cave was called Dung's Depths the Naughty Hole, and it was populated mostly by kobolds. Yeah. And it was full of artifacts that they'd stolen from places. I mean, superior businesses to the point where they were able to defeat the most demon of the cruelty of harvesting. The most demon of the cruelty of harvesting, of course. I wonder, who's the most demon? The most demon. The most demon. The most demon was a goblin group from the pretentious domain. The most demon of the cruelty of harvesting founded bound hells. The minotaur of neglecting ransacked danger. The savage knight became the enemy of the most demon. Now that's a name I want to look up. The goblin hells sing. Old thing evil lushed became the lord of the most demon. Who's Naughty Hole? Oh, obviously Dungstep's the Naughty Hole. The cougar. Joyous breaths. There's a named cougar and giant wolves that are enemies of the most demon. Sorry, the most demon. That's just silly. They didn't last very long. The most demon and bound hells of the subtle midnight of the spit monsters became enrolled in a dispute over fishing rights. They were very evil. The most demon. They became embroiled in a dispute over territory, and then the goblin Doomsins became the lord of the most demon. Shortly thereafter, they became embroiled in a dispute over fishing rights. After that, the ruthlessness of Dimpling, the Fold Hates, the most demon of bound hells, became embroiled in a dispute over rights of way. Man, do we drive on the left side of the road or the right side of the road? Hexgiff Ulsan became the lord of the most demon in the year 191, and the goblin cursed slayer Zolok Hate Contains became the lady of the most demon. They appointed some lords and various other ladies over the years, and then the superior business attacked the most demon at bound hells, and the goblin cursed slayer Nako Wickedholds led the attack. Interesting. The human group, the superior business, was led by a goblin. Not a very human group. And the defenders were led by the goblin Sibu Hexgloves. The superior business defeated the most demon, the cruelty of harvesting, and took over bound hells. The new government was called the superior desks. The very most demon, yes, the most demon. Most demon are belong to us. Oh, that's funny. This game's too good. And I'm not even playing it, really. Although, according to Tarn Adams, programmer of Dwarf Fortress, people who play Dwarf Fortress aren't the actual player base of Dwarf Fortress. The people who play Dwarf Fortress are the beta testers. The people who read the stories that we find in Dwarf Fortress are the people who are actually playing Dwarf Fortress, because that's the majority of their patronage are people who don't actually play the game, which is amazing. So freaks like me who actually play the game are just like reveling in our own nerdiness. You know, I wonder if I streamed this in the D&D category if I'd get more views. But at the end of the day, it's just fucking crazy to me that there's actually people who watch me do this and I'm able to do this full time. So thank you for tuning into this stream and hanging out. While I sit in my dark void and read about dwarfs. Maybe there's a world building category. I think there's a world building tag. Hold on, let me actually check that. Nope, there is no world building tag. There is a world music tag, but... Oh, trust me, this will go up on YouTube. The world generation VOD will go up on YouTube, and this will go up on YouTube separately. Although I'm not certain whether or not I should put the world in that crashed. I might just start it after the crash. And then tomorrow's VOD will also go up on YouTube. As will all my VODs, eventually. But people really like the world generation and the reading VODs. I don't know, I don't think this one's really worth... I do like this. The Hydra. They got attacked. I totally skimmed over this, but the most demon got attacked by Ushmal Chanted Pelts, the strapping power. A Hydra. And a bunch of beak dogs got devoured by it. Same with a troll. It showed up and just, whoa, hello.
Season 2 of Day Fort script.
Hey, Dr. Phineas, how you doing, man? I saw you like pop in right as I ended the other day and kind of felt bad. Hail Hydra. It's a Hydra. I don't know if we necessarily need to hail it, but hail Dr. Phidias and the 1500 bits. Cheers, man. Thanks for the 15 bucks. And thanks for keeping this stream funded. 1 bit at a time. Although we're bloody close to being able to just shut off the sub count because we are getting close to that $500 goal on Patreon. We're at $402, I think, a month. If we get the Patreon up to $500 a month, I will shut off the sub goal that's above my head, and you won't see it on any screen. And if we hit $1,000 a month on Patreon, I'll turn off the goals at the top of Twitch chat so we can just focus purely on streaming and ignore the money bits, because nobody likes listening to streamer babble about money. I'm going to look up Chanted Pelts, the strapping power, because I'm a big fan of Strapping Young Lad, and strapping power. Female Hydra. Ushmil Chanted Pelts. The strapping power was a Hydra. She was the only one of her kind. Ushmel was associated with strength, rebirth, and muck. All right. Became the enemy of many things, devoured dwarves and donkeys. Attacked a dwarf Slayer Iteb rumored papers, and fought with the dwarf cursed Slayer Iteb rumored papers. While defeated, the latter escaped unscathed. Devoured a drake, definitely a duck, not a dragon. Devoured many dogs and other pets. It seems like it just attacks livestock. It's like a giant wolf. It just attacks livestock and murders livestock, pretty much. Struck down many humans. Ooh. As well as, yeah, many, many, many humans, it seems like. Routed the humble band of confederations, of direction, and destroyed drill burns. This thing took out a whole faction by itself. Holy shit. Became an enemy of the basement of Dasor. Devoured dwarves, rams, cows, attacked elves, struck down elves, devoured said elf afterwards. Devoured trolls, beak dogs, more trolls, goblins. I bet you goblins taste bad. I have no idea. It's bugged. Don't worry about it. Redbeard. A thing that Twitch does that totally broke. Devoured alpacas, more dwarves. The pixie deity of the Scalded Books is mildly interesting. Is it worth documenting? I love the, there's a great screenshot of a fluffy Wambler deity on the subreddit somewhere, which is really funny to me. Devoured a rooster? Oh no, not the chicken. Okay, how many kills does the thing have? 43 notable kills. Jesus. 112 other. Man, this Hydra is successful. A turducken, almost. A turducken, maybe? I'm wondering if, I'm curious if who Playcopper, the Warrior of Adil, is. Probably an experiment? Zon Playcopper was a warrior of Adil, born in 61, of unknown parentage, a hairy humanoid. It has a twisting, jointed trunk, and its charcoal hair is very curly. This night creature was first created by the dwarven necromancer Adil Copperdrilled in Meadow Posed after horrible experiments on goblins in Poison Burn in the year 218. Zon became the administrator of the Lustrous Rags. The Lustrous Rags persecuted the sect of Bewildering in Fluffy Lynch. The human Ison bathed Abbey, and others were expelled, and some sacred sites were desecrated. I need to look up that. What the heck happened there? And the human Ison Bathe Abbey held a deep hatred for Zon due to religious persecution. The Lustrous Rags persecuted the sect of Bewildering in Flylynch. The human Mato Fold Wade was expelled, and some sect sites were desecrated. The human Mato Fold Wayward held a deep hatred to Zon due to religious persecution. In spring of the year 327, the Hydra Ushmal Chanted Pelts, the strapping power, attacked Zon. Zon was struck down by the Hydra. of Ushmel, the strapping power, and was devoured. What a fucking distressing story. Fluffy Wamblers? Fluffy Wamblers are fuzzy little balls. They're vermin, and they live in good biomes. They're not lethal, but we saw there's a screenshot of a Fluffy Wambler god somewhere. Flying around the internet. But seriously, though, Dr. Phineas, thank you very much for the 1,500. Cheers. Thanks for helping keep me funded. One biddy at a time. All right, so I'm curious about the religious persecution and the sect of Bewildering. So the sect of Bewildering is a group. The sect of Bewildering was a religion of the pretentious domain, centered around the worship of Seko embraced Queen, the human goddess of poetry. The sect of Bewildering formed in droopy frames. Oh, this is a long history. Many, many members joined. Many preachers. But I want to know. The youngest dragon in the world seems to have a good story behind it. Can you document it in a Google Doc for me and give me a shareable link so that I can stick it in the doc? The most kills I've ever seen on a single creature was a skunk demon that had, I want to say it was like 6,000 kills or something. It was ridiculous. Yeah. These guys are not super popular. This poor religion gets lots of persecution. Like, there's lots of preachers that are preaching against them. The human innie, spiral charmed, ruled from the Abbey of Brides of the sect of Bewildering in Hollow Dawn. But they still had many places. Oh, interesting. The human putrid zombie, Sculpted League, became the holy lace of the sect of Bewildering, although he may not have been a zombie at the time, but would later become a zombie. That'd be awesome if you could. Okay. I need to look up who this person is. The Horror, consort of evil, Quinir Neoman, became a member of the sect of Bewildering. I need to know how the fuck you get that name. Neoman. I'm pretty sure that's a Matrix character. What the hell's going on here? Not a super long history, but let's see what we got. Quinir Neoman was a horror consort of evil. She was the youngest daughter of Dehet Catstones and Ak Shock Shingles, a large feathered humanoid. It has a long straight horn and it lopes quickly along the ground. Its black feathers are long and narrow. You will know why you fear the night. She became a member of the sect of Bewildering in 92. It was her first thing that she did. What year was she born? She was born in 92. And became a member of the sect of Bewildering immediately. Quinir, so maybe this is why the sect of Bewildering gets persecuted, is because they have these night creatures as part of their religion. She became a milker in the year 104, of course, in Match Honey. Of course you did. And became lovers with the human. I do assume, though, I'm going to cheat here. Yeah, okay. So it's the end of her history that she became the consort of evil. She was just a normal person who was a milker and became lovers with a human and got married to Mater Catchback. Gave up being a milker, got divorced 10 years later, got married to the same guy again a few years after that, fought in battles. The human scholar Subprect Sunglover, the fortunate union formed a false friendship. So a human named Par Spicy Candle formed a false friendship with her in order to extract information in Matched Honey. She fought in more battles, many, many attacks actually, and then got divorced with Mater Catchback again 20 years later. Damn. Found another lover a few years after that. Did she cemented a bond of friendship with a human named Ardil. Got married, stopped being a thresher in Matched Honey, settled in Hush Council, became a lie maker, fought in more battles, divorced that human, and found another lover, continued fighting in many battles, pretty standard combat affair. But then at the end of her history, she fought in the assaults of Denting and an assault on Romance Punch. Romance Punch, my new soap opera. Now airing on W, and was imprisoned by Emiri Night Sable, the Tenbrus Grave. Emiri Night Sable, the Tenbrus Grave, changed Quinir from a human into a horror consort of evil. Shit. She was a person before becoming a night creature. So she became a horror consort of evil. But that description is so spooky. You know, was a horror consort of evil born in 92. The youngest daughter of Diet and Ak. A large feathered humanoid. It has a long straight horn and it lopes quickly along the ground. Its black feathers are long and narrow. You will know why you fear the night. I don't know why, but Dwarf Fortress does this really weirdly good job of just sending shivers down the back of my neck without actually trying to do that. I mean, I'm sure they're trying to do that, but fuck, that's spooky. But Night Sable, the Tenebrous Grave. Night Sable. The male horror of evil. He was the only son of Muth and Gogol. The study. A large feathered humanoid with long straight horn. It lopes quickly along the ground. Its black feathers are narrow. You will know why you fear the night. But... now this one is just a night creature, I think. Because in 180 became an enemy of the Spectral League, enemy of the Fortunate Union. Attacked many people. Imprisoned people. Emiri changed Quinir Neoman from a human into a horror consort of evil. Became enemy with a bunch more people. Didn't imprison anybody else, though. Still isn't dead, though. So it is not the youngest dragon, it just became a new entity later on as someone reanimated it? Although undead dragons are terrifying, dude. It's terrifying, man. Absolutely fucking terrifying. Starting to realize there was maybe a reason people didn't like this sect. Well, I mean, it's a religion that certainly got a lot of persecution. Bergy Graves lair. 66600. What? And it's an undead dragon? That's funny. Oh, hey, Jess. Cheers.
Crypt beer, crypt comfy, crypt beer, crypt pod, crypt beer.
What she said. Thank you very much for the 9th month on a 4-month streak. If you guys don't know Jess, go watch Jess. Okay? Go throw Prime subs at Jess. Go support Jess. Jess is cool. Jess is part of my team. She's our most recent recruit. Yeah. For a second there, I was like, who do we recruit first? You or Stewie? But no. She's our most recent recruit. She's been streaming a lot of the spherical Factorio craze called Dyson Sphere Program. I hear it's a game about building vacuum cleaners, because that's what Dyson makes, is vacuum cleaners. So I hope that vacuum cleaner building simulator has been good. And I hope that you're doing well. Hope things are good over in your realm of the weird. And I'm trying to convince her to learn Dwarf Fortress. I think she should just, like, let me come onto her stream and just, like, coach her. Like, just you stream, and I'll just tell you what to do, and I'll be a literal backseat gamer. It'll be fine. No, hit this. No, hit that button. Not that button. That button. It'll be a great time. Which is directly stealing a friend of mine's format, but... Chat, would you watch Jess learn Dwarf Fortress if I was in the background yelling at her? I'm totally not just pressuring you into playing Dwarf Fort right now, but you should play Dwarf Fort. It's pretty good. Not that this is a great representation of what actual Dwarf Fort looks like. You wished you had someone backseating you when you learned Dwarf Fortress? I mean, if I stream X sub to Y and Y sub to X, wouldn't it be better to just not sub because Twitch takes the cup? Yeah, but my emotes are that good. I mean, I sub to plenty of my teammates just to support people. But financially, yes, it would be smarter. But smarts don't always matter. Also, we like ad-free viewing. So, well, hi, new. I'm blind. Let's see what else we can find. Let's go to another Dwarven Civ. Read about another king or queen. The Scalded Furnaces was a Dwarven group of the Portentous Domain. The Portentous Domain. Wound Road. I read that as Wound Rude initially. I was like, Wound Rude. Scalded Furnaces. Oh, wait, no, this is a group of the other one. Well, I don't want a Dwarven group. Let's read about Grigus. They just immediately get wrecked by a Bronze Colossus. A Kobold group. Grigus was a Kobold group. The Bronze Colossus, Ithra Gravecalls, became an enemy of Grigus. And the Bronze Colossus Asmar, Burn Duties, became the enemy of Grigus. I feel like you need to roll some R's to say that. Grigus. Cyclops Mater, Orange Lilac, Color. The Light Autumn became an enemy of Grigus. Well, okay, so they have many enemies. But they're still around, so shoutouts to Grigus. I am so far behind on editing, I think I might just give up and just jump to the most recent one and edit that, the one that we did on Evil Trick stream, because I had like 4 months where I was incapable of doing anything productive. And I'm still kind of in that. The Just Wraith. Okay, I need to learn a bit about the Confederation of Candy. The Confederation of Diabetes. Candy. was the whimsical council of the Confederation of Candy founded trust drums. They also have the whimsical council. All right. The wolf. Okay, that just got a lot more interesting. I want to know who the wolf woman Brime Decline is. She was one of the first of her kind. Became an enemy of the Confederation of Candy. Ambushed item Vaulted Twist. Fought with the human Vaulted Twist. While defeated, the latter escaped unscathed. Became an enemy of many other people and fought with a dwarf, putrid zombie, Iril Netstokers. And, well, while defeated, the latter escaped unscathed. Devoured a turkey. And fought with a goblin. Oh, no, a goblin happened upon her and fought with the goblin, but while defeated, the latter escaped unscathed. Became an enemy of a bunch more people and devoured a cat and another cat and a blue peahen. Eventually was struck down by the human Abba Routgrowled in Trust Drums. Although through editing it seems like you were part of the fun after all. It was good. It wrecked my sleep schedule for like 4 days. Bellinaire, how's your stream? Did you finish up the vacuum cleaner builder video game? Because I saw you were playing Rim today. Are you gonna play Dwarf Fort? Because it got a new version? Oh, you were just taking a break? Gotcha. All right, let's go back to Civs. You promised to do some RimWorld? See, this is why you don't promise anything. If you don't promise things, you don't have to do things. The Turquoise of Systems. Fresh Curses of Discovering. Fortress of Tenacity. The Fur of Omens. The Wordy Growth. The Doomed Midnight was a goblin group. Kind of want to read about some demons. Bellinaire, I created my first work of art on my synthesizer. And I successful. This is automatically going to download a thing, but I'm going to link it in chat for anybody who actually gives a shit. Well, I got one piece of it. The first module that I bought, which is a Mog Mother 32, which is going to go into the modular synthesizer. But that's my first creation on it. Which I'm very proud of, I'll have you know. My beautiful, wondrous rendition of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It's considering I only have one voice and it's just a Moog synthesizer, like, I don't have that much. Need to start somewhere. Right, yeah, exactly. Start small, work bigger. Eventually. What's a civilization we could look up? The Mines of Coloring. Let's look up the Mines of Coloring. To 5x the YouTube super chat to an ongoing topic. What are you talking about? Looking forward to a Halcyon theme song. Ooh. I mean, do you want to give me 10 grand so I can buy a full synth setup right now? Because, like, considering, like, a piece that I want isn't even in stock. Was a dwarven civilization. The dwarf Ubak became the general. All right. Servesh mirror holds. Died in the year 15. Oh, you weren't very successful. Not much. Picture point. Yo, PP. First off, you should stop streaming CDDA and play good games like Dwarf Fortress. That's fine. But if you pop open the day fort, right there, season 2, we're beginning. I generated the world this morning. You should download it, set it up with the new version of DF that came out, and run some forts in it. Hey, Novi. Did you hear me say that CDDA is not as good as DF out loud or something? This dwarf didn't live very long. Was struck down by the bronze Colossus. Boom, splat. It'll be a full-blown orchestra of synths. Give me 6 months. Just give me 6 months. Linus from Linus Tech Tips? Linus Tech Tips lives really close to me. True story. I met them on public transit once. While they were filming. But, you know, it's considering, like, that's after me just reading the manual and fucking around for a couple hours. The fact that I can beat Boop out Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is pretty good. All right? It's a start. I mean, Picture Point's been streaming, like, fucking CDDA all day, which means you should, if you want to go see CDDA, go watch my dude Picture Point. Because he's cool, and his streams are good. He has a fish tank. And Squidward twerking. It's a stream, all right. Most people are humans. I want to look up somebody else from the Cobalt Crypts. It's fine. Let's look up Stricken Smiths. The Baroness. Didn't live very long. She was one of the first of her kind. Cog became the Baroness of the Cobalt Crypts in year 6. Settled in Golden Trust. Became lovers with Nish. Wound Road. Nish Wound Road. And Lolar and her became friends. Nish and Cog broke up. And Cog was struck down by a bronze Colossus in year 23. Well, seems like that went well. Let's look up your lover. Wait, what was the name of your lover? Wound Road. Wound Road. I've seen that name around a bit. Was one of the first of his kind, became the mayor of the Scalded Furnaces. Shem and Nish became lovers as Shem and Nish broke up. There is a rent system in DF? You'd have to ask Kleno about that. I want to say that is disabled. I'm pretty sure all that stuff's just been disabled for a while. Also, Spectel TV, thanks for the follow. Cheers, man. Quite a few new followers today. If anybody has any questions about what the heck we're doing, feel free to ask questions. Come on, Billionaire, you knew that system got removed because you've played since then. Well, disabled, rather. It's still there, but it's disabled. Because just like real capitalism, it's fucking broken. Yeah, it was too effective at demonstrating the problems with capitalism, which is kind of amazing. Also, Billionaire, you're gonna want to stick around because my after hours plans for tonight. We're gonna check out that ADOM demo in a couple minutes. Also, hey Bones, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Took me a second to realize what that was. That's a weird looking pistol. I've heard good things. Hey, Cilantro. Fought in many fights. The Cobalt Crypts held a foot race. Took part in many foot races, including ones that I'm pretty sure the original Queen took place in. Probably outran the original Queen, too, considering Nish was the victor in some of these. Fought in many more fights. Zulban book loved and Nish became lovers. I think I found Bellinaire's wife in the game. Nish fought in the Attack of Fights, yes, in Menace Carry. Cobalt Crypts held a crossbow throwing competition. Why is it crossbow throwing competitions? And then Nish died of old age. Well, I think that this has been a really nice, brief exploration of this world. And I think tomorrow I'm going to embark as part of the Cobalt Crypts. Bunger, 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 bunger. I hope grocery shopping was successful and safe. Squawk. But yeah, that's the world that we generated. Once again, if you would like to generate a... well, hold on. Let's just find the location of this group real quick. The plank of dots, radiant water, bloated soreness, the tusk, Confederacy of Rhythm, praised book, worthy confederation. Is it one of these ones? Scalded books, the moral paddle. Cobalt Crypts. Oh, they're kind of in that middle section. So there. Sizzling Citadel, which is a really good name. True Gravel, Flute of... there they are. And that was all the Cobalt Crypts, right? Just that tiny little thing. Well, that thing. So we're going to settle as part of this civilization tomorrow. These guys right here. Cobalt Crypts. The Sizzadel, if you will? Yes. The Sizzledel. Was what changed in the update? What is this new? This has been in DF for ages. This is just under Legends. Just got to dig into Legends. Have you never like dug into the map screen in Legends? Because this is just the map screen in Legends. No, this has gotten, or you mean like a world that's laid out like this, or this map screen, and then being able to run through all of them in real time. It took us 2 hours to generate it, so. But yeah, no, if you want, you can download this world. It's available in that document. So I'll show off the doc once again, show off everything that we did today. This is the actual world itself. That's the download link right there. It'll take you to a Google Drive where you can, try it out, mess about. Down here is the Legends section. These are 3 stories that I thought were worth writing about. And this is every single Dwarven Civ screenshotted on the world map. Yeah, no, totally. It's much more detailed than the Fort Mode map because everything in Legends is much more detailed than the Fort Mode map. It's the point of Legends. Yeah, no, I mean, if you hit this button, you can see where every faction lives. You can export the current map. Yeah, it's fucking cool. If you hit, is it lowercase c? I'm not actually sure what that, oh. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain what that's supposed to do. Oh, I see. It just reorders whatever the closest one is. There we go. But yeah, no, it's a fucking neat set of tools. But yeah, download this world and go on adventures of your own and tell me stories that happen and people that you run into. The whole point of this series, Picture Point, and anybody else in chat, is please download the world, mess with it, build your own forts, run adventurers, do whatever you want. Every single time I build a fort, I will upload an updated copy of the world into the Google Drive. So if you want to have an updated copy or follow along with my version of the world, you can do that. Any stories that happen or things that you discover in Legends, please document them into Google Docs, and I will add them to the world document. I will do more Legends streams like this, and every Saturday, although tomorrow is when we're going to run the first fort of this, every Saturday after tomorrow, I will build a one-shot fort in one day and complete it within the day, end the fort, and move on to the next fort within one stream. So, but I think that is enough DF for today, because that was more DF than I normally do, and it was all Legends. Yeah, this is the new version of DF, and that means new season of Day Forts. But with that all being said, we're going to go check out that Ultimate ADOM demo. So before I do that, I'm going to go take a piss. Then I'm going to refill my coffee. We're going to take a look at that demo for Ultimate ADOM, which is a game that's coming out on October 11th. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. If you are sticking around, could I get a big round of beers? And I will see you guys all in a couple of minutes. More like Bandcam Picture Point. You're actually drinking wine? Ooh. Fancy! Is that to celebrate the new release? If anybody's feeling generous, Clino needs full access to my emotes. Alright, let's set this up in the background. Yeah, looks like Ultimate ADOM. All right. 2 in a row. Fucking hell. Good on you. Good on you. Ah! Game's starting up for the first time. Windows sounds. Intensify. Sometimes you got to drink cheap wine, though. Hear that, chat? Clinodev's a cheap date. What, 4 in a row?